In this lesson, we're going to handle the input for our stun gun, so our stun gun fires when we decide to fire and does not fire when we do not want to fire. So in order to do this, we're going to go ahead and go into MonoDevelop, into our player health and attack script, and then down here we're going to make a new function. So it's going to be a void function called check for attack. And what we're going to do here is we're going to need to check to see if we're getting an input from the left mouse button. So I say if, and then I'm going to use the input class. So input, and then dot, and then we need to access the mouse button down function. And you can see it returns whether the given mouse button is held down. So I'm going to finish that up, and I'm going to say 0 as the argument for that function there. So that will get us the left mouse button, because that's what the 0 is. So cool, we have that. Now I'm going to just close that out. And now what we can do is we need to actually get access to that particle system. So let's go ahead and make a new variable for that. We're just going to call it stun system. So public, it's going to be of course, particle system. And we're going to call it stun system. And now down here what we can do is we can change its emission rate if the left mouse button is being held down. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to say stun system dot emission rate equals 5. So if we're holding down the left mouse button, we're going to set to 5. And if we're not, so we need to do an else out of here. So else, we need to set the stun system dot emission rate to be equal to 0. Now there's a few more things we need to do. Let's go ahead, go back into Unity over here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set the emission rate for our particle system that's coming out the stun gun to be at 0. So I'm going to go ahead and find that in here, not the ramp, in here. So let's go find stun gun. Here's our particle system, and let's go to emission, open that up, and change that to 0 starting off. So we don't want it to be firing right as the game begins. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and assign that particle system variable we just made. So let's go down into our player health and attack and just drag and drop this particle system right into the stun system slot. And now I just need to call that function somewhere. So let's go ahead and back in MonoDevelop, copy the check for attack function. And let's go into our update function. Now we already have our manage health function, which is part of what this is doing. It's player health. And now let's add in the attack part of that. So just paste that there and save it. Let that compile. And then once that's done, we can give it a test. And okay, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and play it. And there we go. When I push the button down, it fires, and when I lift up, it stops. So very cool. That is done. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.